What's up, everyone? It's Joe Bravita from Empire Music and EmpireMusicOnline.com here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And today I'm here with you a new Martin guitar for 2019. It's the D-28 Modern Deluxe. Martin's ability to innovate is very apparent in this guitar, and through the reviews that we do on a lot of their instruments, I don't think people recognize how forward-thinking they are because it's a heritage brand. It's something that we think of as being around like the old way. And the Modern Deluxes are a perfect example of their ability to give you their historical tone in a modern design. And the D-28 is a total home run. You know, the D-28 is probably one of the most famous 2 or 3 guitars on earth. And what they did here is they gave us the same tone woods as the D-28, and then they've souped it up. So we have a Sitka spruce top, and we have East Indian rosewood back and sides, which we're going to try to keep those reflections down to a minimum here, but really beautiful. They've made structural changes to some of the guts. They've made some design changes in terms of how the top is used, and they've made some cosmetic changes, so we're going to cruise through them all. I want to go through the stuff that is kind of sonic changing first. First thing we do is we take the Sitka spruce top, and it's a VTS Sitka spruce top, which is different than the stock D-28. That basically means vintage tone system in Martin's vernacular, and that gives us the ability to have a more aged sounding top. Everyone loves vintage guitars because of the way they sound. However, structurally, they're often not in a position to be played well. The guitar hasn't been maintained, or they're hard to find. This really reduces the moisture content, makes the guitar sound and react like an older guitar, and it's immediately noticeable. Much bigger sounding, more lush, more dynamic. Then what they do is with the bracing, instead of using standard bracing, it's Sitka spruce. This is scalloped. It's also VTS, and it's Adirondack. Adirondack's really, really strong, and the ability of it to just push the top and create huge tone. I always call it like a trampoline. It's just really, really just flexible. So when you really give this thing a ride, it doesn't really have a headroom that you can kind of make it peak at a normal playing attack. It's just like, you really can't insult this instrument. And the Adirondack obviously also adds to its vintageness, which is really cool. So we take the vintage tone system, we add scallop bracing, which allows the top to be more flexible. We add Adirondack, which makes it bigger sounding. Those are things that are all made to make the guitar sound older. But now comes the innovation. Titanium truss rod. The titanium truss rod allows first for more accurate adjusting, which is always a bonus for your tech. You can keep the guitar playing great more easily. Another immediately noticeable thing about the guitar is the truss rod is almost 2/3 lighter. It's 64% lighter than the standard truss rod. And as soon as you pick the guitar up, you realize how much lighter it is than a stock model. It's just right away. So big bonus there. Everyone likes lighter guitars. Next, we have Liquidmetal bridge pins instead of just a plastic. Those provide more volume. They probably, they're going to wear better over time, but really they're just going to make the guitar a little bit more vocal. And then underneath the bridge, we have a carbon fiber bridge plate. Now that makes the guitar lighter. It makes it louder. And we know that from playing guitars for a long time, that wooden bridge plate that's in the standard models over time will wear. The ball end of the string will rub against it, and that'll wear away. And then eventually, over a super long term, will need to be replaced. But in the short term, it keeps our volume down. So we're not going to get any of those wear issues here, which is just super awesome. So let's hear it. First thing I'm going to do is just give this thing a good solid ride so you can hear how big it sounds. And then what we'll do is we'll get into some of the dynamic stuff that I think that is very clear that this guitar can do that maybe the stock models would struggle a little bit or maybe not do as effectively. So let's do it. Massive sustain, massive bottom end. I mean, you don't buy a D-28 because it's a wimpy guitar. It's a beastly instrument, and this thing is next level. It's really, really impressive. What I would typically tell someone who's interested in a D-28 that it wouldn't be as useful for is more articulate playing. And for me, I love definition in my guitars. I want them to be heard. The upgraded Adirondack bracing, that they're VTS, so they're baked. The scalloping of the bracing makes the guitar more effective at this, and the VTS top. So now what we can do is we can play with a lighter attack through a heavier attack and get more clarity, specifically through the mids. That's the number one thing. I think a lot of times when you play a D-28, we hear a lot of this, we hear a lot of this, and we don't hear a lot of this in the middle stuff. So what we're able to do now is way more balanced, there's no doubt about it. The D-28 for a stinging bluegrass lead player is great because we don't really get a ton of sustain out of it because we don't have that scallop bracing. The bracing's thicker. It's not as responsive, and that's kind of like a very specific tool. Whereas here, this guitar is letting us do a lot more stuff. Typically, if I were to break out my D-28, I wouldn't rush to play notes like these. That's not what a D-28 is best at typically. With the Modern Deluxe, we really have increased the ability of the guitar to do more things. And I think for anyone who owns a guitar, we want it to be able to do more stuff and be good at it. And Martin has taken it just to the ability, I think, that if you're a flat picker, if you're a strummer, if you want to play some lead stuff, you'll find that the guitar is way more responsive through there, and we're not ripping the strings off. We would find that that's harder to do on a stock model, so big bonus there. Then what Martin did after they decided to make the guitar sound super awesome is they gave us an upgrade in looks. We have gold hardware now with open back tuners. So I'm going to flip the guitar over so you can see the really cool vintage style tuners that are open back, which are really, really great. They're beautiful. They're really, really smooth, and they're Waverleys, which is obviously a premium brand. They changed the Martin logo to a pearl inlay, which absolutely looks better. They gave us gold frets, which look cool. Not too over the top, it's just like a neat feature. They give us on the all the Modern Deluxe guitars, there's wood binding. On the Rosewood models, you're getting maple, and the maple binding is killer. An amazing contrast, and it really gives the guitar modern, sleek lines. Typically, you would get like an Ivoroid or something like that. Here, getting the wood, it looks classier, and it definitely elevates the look and the way that I think that the woods contrast each other. It just makes it pop more, which is amazing. So the D-28 Modern Deluxe gives you everything you'd want in a D-28. Huge boom, tons of go, the ability to really fill a room, and it gives it to you with a more accurate neck adjustment tool, upgraded bridge plate, upgraded bridge pins, upgraded bracing, VTS Adirondack bracing that are scalloped, and a VTS top. So if you're in the market for a massive sounding dreadnought that can do more than your typical, what I call campfire or porch chords, it can do that too. It sounds awesome. But if you want something that is going to be more of a Martin Swiss Army knife, it's going to be able to give you the ability to do more leads, more fingerstyle, more stuff for recording or performing, boom, you're looking at it, the D-28 Modern Deluxe. You can get this on our site. You can call us at 412-343-5299 right here at Empire Music. You can ask for myself, Todd, or Anthony. We're all experts. We professionally pack, ship, set up guitars before we ship them. All the guitars in stock. If you want to come in and play them, if you're local, you're able to do that. Feel them, they feel amazing because we take great care of our guitars. And we're excited about the Modern Deluxe. It's everything we can imagine at an amazing price. They didn't raise the price 2 times. They really kept these things super fairly priced, which I'm always impressed with. I was just at the factory for 3 days, and when you see what it takes to make a Martin guitar, it's really inspiring to see the effort that they put into these. So I'm going to strum this for a little bit on the way out. You can give us a call. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram for all of our content. Martin D-28 Modern Deluxe.